The world of advertising is just obsessed with what's new, right? New platforms, new algorithms, new AI. But what if the most important rules haven't actually changed in 100 years? We're about to find out if that old playbook still works. So picture this. It's 1923. An advertising pioneer named Claude Hopkins makes this incredibly bold claim. He says, look, advertising isn't some kind of art or a gamble. It's a science. It has fixed, unbreakable laws that can be proven. Okay, now let's flash forward 100 years to today. The one running the ads isn't a who anymore, it's a what. It's this incredibly complex AI, like Meta's Andromeda, a system that learns and adapts way faster than any human possibly could. And that's the big question we're tackling here. Are all those old, supposedly scientific principles now just, historical artifacts? Or is there something deeper going on? So to really understand where we are now, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, to the guy who literally wrote the rulebook on advertising as a science. For Claude Hopkins, the answer to every advertising question was actually pretty simple. It wasn't about being clever or witty or artistic. It was about one thing, and one thing only: selling. An ad, he argued, is just a salesman, but multiplied, reaching thousands of people instead of just one. So how do you become a great salesman? Well, you don't guess. Hopkins developed this method he called scientific advertising, and he tested everything, every headline, every picture, every single offer. He would put these little unique codes on coupons just so he could track which newspaper ad was actually bringing in the sales. He turned advertising from a guessing game into a data-driven science. And all this relentless testing started to reveal these timeless truths about people, about human nature. Like, people are fundamentally selfish. They only care about what's in it for me. They buy cures for a pain they have today, not prevention for some problem that might happen tomorrow. And vague claims? Totally worthless. Specificity is what sells. All right, now let's make that leap forward. We're jumping 100 years from a world of paper coupons in newspapers to a world that's completely run by the algorithm. See, today, the ad manager isn't some person meticulously tracking coupons. It's an incredibly powerful AI, like Meta's Andromeda. This thing decides who sees your ad, when they see it, where they see it. It's kind of a black box that has totally rewritten the rules of the game. And here's the single biggest shift. It used to be that we, the advertisers, would tell the platform who to target. But now it's the ad itself, the picture, the video, the words, that basically is the targeting signal. You feed the algorithm a really specific ad, and it goes out and learns who that ad connects with. So if you make a generic ad, well, you're going to get a generic audience, cause and effect. So to deal with this new world, marketers now think in terms of a funnel. Up at the top of the funnel, or TOFU, you're talking to total strangers. Your only goal is to make them stop scrolling by pointing out a problem they might have. But way down at the bottom of the funnel, BOFU, you're talking to someone who literally just looked at your pricing page. You're going to hit them with a super specific, urgent offer. It's all about having a different sales pitch for every stage of that customer journey. So this brings us right back to our big question. We've got these funnels, we've got super smart AI, we've got creative that does the targeting for us. Surely those 100-year-old rules about basic salesmanship must be irrelevant by now, right? Well, the answer is not at all. Not even close. The technology couldn't be more different, but the human psychology that it's targeting is exactly the same. The new rules are really just the old rules, but in a digital disguise. Check this out. It's a perfect example. Hopkins warned that general claims are useless. They're like water off a duck's back. 100 years later, the marketing agency Amers says the exact same thing, saying improve onboarding is just invisible noise. But cut onboarding from 3 weeks to 4 days? Now that has weight. It's specific. Or how about this one? Hopkins insisted that you have to tell a complete story, because his motto was, the more you tell, the more you sell. Today, that very same idea is used to cut through all the clutter online. A specific story about a problem your customer is facing creates this moment of recognition, and that's what makes someone stop scrolling. And building trust, Hopkins urged advertisers to offer free samples or trials so customer could prove the claims for themselves without any cost or risk. So what's the modern version of that? Social proof. Not just slapping some logos on a page, but using specific case studies and testimonials that show a real result. See? Both tactics do the exact same thing. They lower the buyer's feeling of risk. So if the rules are pretty much the same, What's the common thread here? The answer is just human psychology. Both Hopkins a century ago and today's top marketers are tapping into the very same fundamental drivers of how we behave. It really all boils down to psychology. It doesn't matter if it's in a 1923 newspaper or your social feed in 2026, real persuasion, the kind that actually works, hinges on three key things. You tell a story that creates a connection, you tap into a real emotion, and you appeal to your audience's sense of identity. You make them feel seen and understood and like they're part of something.
Okay, so what does all this mean for you right now? Let's distill all of this down into a simple, modern playbook.
All right, here it is. Number 1, test like Hopkins. Stop guessing when you can measure. Let the data be your guide. Number 2, write for humans. Forget the corporate jargon and talk to their self-interest with specific stories. 3, trust the psychology. Connect with them through emotion, narrative, and identity. And finally, number 4, reduce the risk. Use case studies, free trials, whatever you have to do to make saying yes feel safe and easy. So in the end, the platforms, the algorithms, the creative formats, they're all going to keep changing at this dizzying pace. That's a given. But the core principles of persuasion, the ones that are rooted in these unchanging truths of human psychology, well, it seems like they're here to stay.